Come, let us prepare, make some good profits today. Market left us big clues right here. This is going to be a great wrap up to the week. Thursday, Friday, plenty of liquidity here. You see 5-day trending up together with a very important level. I will talk about this. Plenty of liquidity at this level here as well. Lots of good moves you can prepare for. I will talk about that in today's video. But before that, as always, intraday analysis. Important to understand the clues the market has left us. 9:40 a.m. here. Now, this was when we identified, very importantly, the Magenta algorithm here. And you see how the market rejected from the top of the range of that orange and built that nested structure. You see it happen beautifully on the rejection here on that right shoulder. Do you see it exactly as it happened? You have to understand how to be looking out for structure, how to be preparing for it to happen. And in this case, beautiful blue precision algorithm guiding the runners all the way down. Now, this was my 100% trade right here. Absolutely beautiful, as long as you waited for structure to form right there, especially identifying the magenta early in the day. It's important, and also the presence of this precision algorithm right there. Absolutely beautiful. But you're all right if you missed this, because there are plenty of profits to be found ahead. One more here, 10:13. You see, once we started selling in that blue, wait for that continuation structure to start forming. In this case, the magenta again, to that 643 pink I was talking about, and you see how the market once again built that beautiful structure. Now, in this magenta, it's not easy. You have to learn to understand how to be watching out for liquidity building. So in this case, you set alerts at the magenta. Once we retested at the magenta here, you see the breakout and retracement in the teal. I talked about this teal as well. So it's important you understand the selling at teal, and you could just set alerts here, wait for the trade. Absolutely beautiful trade right there. And I talked about a very important level here at that 642.69. Let's talk about that for the next setup at 12:03 right here. I talked about the gap close, 642.69 happened exactly, and you see that beautiful structure closing of that pink algorithm, closing the cup right there and forming the handle. Now, there is a particular handle here that's in that selling right there, that big red candle. But that's nearing to end of day, so if you want to take this trade, it's a little bit more risky. Your risk to rewards is firmly fitted in this magenta algorithm. As I also talked about, once we form that, right, you know that your risk to rewards is within this magenta. You still can take a trade, absolutely, of course you can, but you have to understand how to be looking out for that certain structure right there. But understanding several key levels, planning your risk to rewards, assigning your strikes, and in this case, understanding the structure, no longer pushing for the downside move because you see the tapering happen, especially with the pink. So you have to understand there are certain dynamics here at play, and magenta isn't forming any more liquidity here or building any more liquidity after this downward teal movement here. So you have to understand this dynamics, this context, and then apply it to structure. And in this case, you find profits in the charts like that. Absolutely beautiful trade, all because you understood how to be looking out for that particular structure there in that cups that closed right there. Now, plenty of profits to be found, as you can see, even though technically the market went nowhere, right? We are back to where we belong when we open, but still plenty of profits to be found. You see that, and you see how precise, even to the point of that magenta, right? I talked about this magenta near to the end of day, and just take a look how penny perfect the magenta is, and that same magenta that gave us that beautiful trade early in the day as well. So there's plenty of profits to be found. You just have to learn to identify the algorithms as well as trade as structure demands. And you can easily find, in this case, my 100% trade here, your 5-figure trades, your 4-figure trades, plenty of profits to be found daily. And I implore you, treat this as a lifetime skill. It will take